Hello everyone. Welcome to Empowered Women Live. I'm Jeri Cates, your guide on this journey. So today we're talking about you don't need to get over it, you need to get through it. Let's start with a phrase that most of us women, achievers, daughters, mothers, professionals, entrepreneurs, that we've heard sometime at some point in our life. Just get over it. Maybe someone said it to you. Maybe you said it to yourself. But here's what I've come to know, that what so many women are discovering is that you don't need to get over it. You need to get through it. Hi, Maggie. Welcome. Because pain doesn't vanish when you ignore it. And grief doesn't evaporate when you distract yourself. Disappointment doesn't dissolve when you slap on a smile and try to stay positive, right? When you don't process, or what you don't process gets stored. It's really important. It lives in your body. It lingers in your nervous system. It shows up in your relationships, your health, your energy, and your ability to move forward. So if you felt stuck emotionally, creatively, or spiritually, this is the work. To walk through what you've avoided with compassion. I'm just going to say that again. To walk through what you've avoided with compassion. It's a shift. So who's this for? This talk is for high-achieving, heart-centered women who's done the work, maybe even years of it, and yet she still finds herself bumping against the same emotional edges. She still wonders why certain relationships feel unsatisfying. She still hears that inner voice whisper, why aren't I over this yet? This is for the woman who's powerful in the world, but still carries an invisible weight. It's not for those looking for a quick fix or a bypass or some magical affirmation that'll wipe away decades of disappointment. That's not here. This is for the woman who's ready to go deeper, not to suffer, but to liberate herself. To finally get through it with grace, with support, and with truth. Hey, Jody, welcome. So I'm talking about getting over it. That you don't have to get over it. You have to you got to get through it. What you avoid doesn't go away. It gets stored. When we've been taught to override emotion, to be rational, to stay productive, to move on. And we've become so good at this that we often don't even realize we're doing it. We say, I'm fine, or it's not a big deal, or it happened a long time ago. But the truth is your body remembers. Unprocessed emotion doesn't disappear. It goes underground, and what gets buried alive doesn't stay quiet forever. Can you see that? If you just stuff it down, it comes up in the most inconvenient ways. It shows up as chronic fatigue or burnout, feeling numb or checked out, tension in the chest, the gut, irritability in relationships, right? And looping thoughts you can't shut off. Anybody nodding your head with any of those? These aren't flaws, they're signals. They're signals that your body is saying, it's not over. I need you to turn toward this. I need you to witness what I couldn't process before. And here's the good news. You can. You can feel it now. As the woman you are today, with wisdom, compassion, and the capacity you didn't have then. So it's an opportunity to step into healing, into moving through it. Feeling is the gateway to freedom. Let's talk about feeling a little bit. We often fear if we really feel it, the sadness, the anger, the regret will get lost in it. But feeling doesn't mean falling apart. It means becoming whole again. When you let yourself feel, you stop fighting the current of truth. You start metabolizing what's been frozen. And then when your body and soul start to, and that's when your body and soul start to come back online. This is where practices like breath work, hypnotherapy, somatic release, tapping, which is emotional freedom technique, or simply stillness and presence become transformational. They're not just techniques, they're invitations to heal in a deeper way than just talking ever could. I used feelings and needs inventories with my clients, not as a worksheet, but as a sacred map. When you know what you're feeling, or when we know what we're feeling, we can finally know what we need. From that space, we stop reacting and start responding. Let's talk a little bit about the feelings and needs. So in feminine power, which is where my training is in the principles that I teach, in feminine power, there's this exercise called the feelings and needs inventory. And you can try it with yourself. Let me just say that what I discovered by doing this is that when I can name my feelings, it helps me identify my needs, and it gives me clarity. But the practice is asking yourself, you say your name, what are you feeling? And then I'm feeling, and then you just say whatever comes up. And then here's the other part of it, is you say to yourself, as if you're saying to yourself, someone else saying to yourself, I can see that you're feeling whatever it is. So, Jeri, what are you feeling? I'm feeling sad. I can see that you're feeling sad. Jeri, what are you feeling? I'm feeling worried. I can see that you're feeling worried. So the whole idea is for you to be able to name what you're feeling, but also the practice of holding space, of witnessing yourself, because you doing that skill for yourself and for others is so healing. It's just holding space. We're not trying to fix it. We're just holding space. What are you feeling? I can see that you're feeling. And it could be happy things too, right? It's whatever comes up. You know, what are you feeling? I'm feeling joy. I can see that you're feeling joy. Even those positive things being witnessed is very powerful. So the next part of it is, what do you need? And what do you need? You know, usually feelings like, I'm feeling afraid. I need safety. So if I'm, what do you need? I need safety. And it's the same process. I can see that you need safety and just holding space. And I got to tell you, when my husband passed away in 2016, I remember laying on the bed and doing this exercise with myself, and being able to name what I was feeling was so healing. And it was me moving through it rather than just laying there crying and just feeling all stuffed, all my emotions stuffed inside of me. I gave it a way out. I acknowledged it and gave it a way to process it. So very powerful feelings and needs inventory. I'm trying to think. The Center for Nonviolent Communication, you can go on the internet and you can get their feelings and needs inventory, and it has feelings, and then also look up at the unmet needs, and those might resonate. And what I like to do is encourage people to go get the list and read through the list and notice what resonates. Like mine was in an exercise we did once. I had some resentment, and boy, acknowledging and naming and acknowledging that resentment helped me process through it. I didn't have to carry it anymore. So identifying your feelings, it is the gateway to freedom. Going back to what we're talking about, it is the gateway to freedom. Identifying your feelings, and I'm going to put needs in there too. All right? Okay, so the key truth is what we feel we can heal. That makes sense now after me going through that exercise. What we feel we can heal. And what we avoid we repeat. Yep, what we avoid, we repeat. Hey, if this is resonating with you, put a yes in the chat. And if you're here live, hashtag live. And if you're here for the replay, hashtag replay. I'd love to know when you got to see it. So the third point I want to make is getting through it means moving with grace, not force. And I'm trying to remember this. Grace is the spirited freedom. It's something about being in harmony with yourself, right? So getting through it means moving with grace, not force. One of the greatest myths we carry is that we need to push through pain. Ever heard that? Ever said that? Just push through it. That we only win if we're stoic, strong, or unshakable. How about that? But I want to introduce to you a new way. You can move through pain with grace. You can be with your truth without forcing a resolution. And that goes back to witnessing. Just what are you feeling? You were being with that truth of what you're experiencing and just witnessing it, not fixing it. And I want to say something, but let me finish this. You can stop rushing and start honoring your own timeline, right? I wanted to say that, like, so when a child comes to you, say child comes to you and they hurt themselves or something like that, and you're just witnessing them, right? Wow, I can see that you got hurt, right? You're just witnessing them. And I mean, think of the times that you've done that and how present you were and how healing that was and how that helped that child get through that. You can do that with yourself. You already have the skills. You just turn it towards yourself. Yeah, you just turn it towards yourself. So Claire Zammit would call this, and Claire Zammit, founder of Feminine Power, and the principles that I teach, she would call this a feminine power move. Not fixing, but feeling. Not striving, but allowing. Feel the difference in that. Not pushing through, but rising from within. Take a moment, if you're somewhere where it's safe to do so, and go ahead and close your eyes. And take a nice deep breath. And imagine you're moving your awareness down your body, from your crown, down your body, down to your hips, down to your legs, down to where your feet meet the floor, and just flowing into the earth. Just expanding and reaching. And now we're going to do this one different. So now starting at your head and moving down your body and down to your hips and down your legs and where your soul meet the floor. And now I want you to push it into the earth. Just push it. And notice the difference between those two. Now I'm going to take you back. Take a nice deep breath in and drop down your body, down your legs where your feet meet the floor, and now expanding again, because that's the vibration I want to leave you in that vibration of expansion, not pushing. But did you feel that, the difference? That pushing it into the earth. So when you notice you're pushing, take a breath and expand and open up, right? Just in that moment, shift and rise from within. So that was a fun little exercise. I'd love to know if you felt something with that. You don't have to go faster. You just have to go forward with compassion and often with support. Now, we have compassion for others. You already have compassion. Think about someone you have compassion for, maybe a child, a loved one, your animal, right? You have this compassion for this living being. Feel what that feels like. And now turn that towards yourself. Turn that compassion towards yourself. Go ahead and put your hand on your heart center and feel that compassion for yourself. Take a nice deep breath in and out. And so my point here is you already have these tools. You're using them on others. I want to help you reframe and refocus and use them on yourself, because the idea is to be in the vision of feeding others from your overflow, right? Of you taking care of yourself well enough so that you can feed others from your overflow. So that means having self-compassion, right? That means having self-love, self-worth. I always like to say, show up as a woman who's loved. You know, you're loved in this life. Show up as a woman who's loved. How do you carry yourself when you show up as a woman who's loved? What do you say to yourself when you show up as a woman who's loved? So these are ways of being that can shift so many things for you, that can help you get through it, right? To help you get through it. Because we're not meant to walk this alone. When a woman is witnessed in her grief, in her longing, her truth, something shifts. The nervous system calms. The soul exhales. The next step becomes clear. And that's what I offer in my work. Not just strategy, but sacred space for you to return to you. So you need clarity on one specific problem in your life or your business? Let's talk. I'm opening up 5 spots this weekend. This is something new I'm doing. They're 20-minute brainstorm sessions. No pitch, no pressure, no fluff. Just 20 minutes. You pick a topic. I help us stay focused on that topic, and we unpack it, and you come out with your next step. It's very powerful. So just you and me focused on one challenge that you want to solve. It's a powerful experience, and what a wonderful opportunity. So whether you're feeling stuck in a relationship, unclear about your next steps, doubling or doubting your confidence, or overwhelmed by life's demands, this is a space to get real support and insight from someone who gets it. You don't need to figure it out all alone. You just need one clear breakthrough to start moving forward again. This is perfect for you if you're craving a fresh perspective on a real challenge, or you want clarity, not coaching jargon, or you're ready for a forward movement, not just mindset talk. So I'm offering 5 this week. So if this speaks to you, type brainstorm in the chat, or you can DM me directly, and I'll reach out to you and tell you what the next steps are. So let's clear the noise and unlock the next move together. Let me leave you with this. You don't need to pretend. You don't need to hide your story. You don't need to fix yourself. You simply need to feel what's true, to meet yourself with love, to remember that what feels like a breakdown is often the beginning of a breakthrough. You don't need to get over it. You just need to get through it with truth, support, and love. And sister, you're already on your way. If you're here watching this, you're already on your way. You're hungry for that information to help you rise up. So I hope that was helpful. Yeah, it's about getting through it, right? It's not getting over it. And let me just say, so Claire Zammit, founder of Feminine Power, Dr. Claire Zammit, I loved what she said. I think it was in module 1 of the course, the Awakening, or the Essential Course for the Awakening Woman. It's one of my products that I do my coaching on. But she talked about completing the past. And a client and I were talking about that one day, how powerful that was. What a mind shift. It's like we always think it's, oh, I got to heal the past. I have to get over the past. Well, what about completing it? What about completing it? I have a client that is just finishing her program with me. And it was so beautiful because she said, I wake up with confidence every day. So she's got some new mindsets and has worked through those old patterns. She's very quick at identifying the old patterns, and especially when they come up again. And she can shift. rather than in the past where we might have, something happens or we get caught in a pattern and we get stuck there. We can have the tools that will shift us out of this and rise you up so that you wake up feeling confident, feeling good in your skin. Yeah. Anyway, you want a brainstorm call? Send me a message. Let's do this. Have a wonderful evening, and thank you for staying. Let's see. Maggie and Jody, thank you. I know there's always more people, but I can't see them. I just wanted to peek in to see if there are any comments. I haven't figured the comment thing out. Okay, here's my commitment. I'm going to figure out how to do this from my computer so I can see comments. Okay, thanks for coming by, and I'll be back next Tuesday. And I've got a lot of new posts down. Do take some time and read them. They're great insights. There's educational posts. There's some to with prompts that you can respond to, have some reflective thinking, you know, powerful stuff, you know me. All right. Sending you love. Bye-bye.